Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Track Talk, your connection coast to coast and beyond in all the latest news, developments, stake race analysis, and interviews inside the world of thoroughbred horse racing. From California to New York, Florida, and Kentucky, we have you covered. It's post time, live from San Diego. It's Track Talk. And we welcome you on a Sunday morning live from San Diego. We welcome you to the WS Radio Network on day number 20 of the 36-day race meet where the turf meets the surf. We got a lot of action today as we close in. Big day yesterday at Arlington Park, the Beverly D, the Secretariat, the Arlington Million, the Pucker Up. Here at Del Mar, the Best Pal, won by Joe Talamo and Mark Blatt. And well, we're back at it again today, Tommy D. We're off and running day number 20.
Yeah, what a great day of racing yesterday. We saw some very impressive horses across the country at Arlington. As you said, Bricks and Mortar winning the Arlington Million. Sister Charlie winning the Beverly D, setting a record, winning by 3 lengths. That horse is a monster. Got Stormy, that's one you want to talk about. 4-year-old daughter of Get Stormy, winning by 2.5 at the 4-star Amsterdam yesterday, beating the boys, so one to pay attention to there. Number 6 Got Stormy yesterday in the 4-star Amsterdam. We talked about that, but a great day overall in racing yesterday. Chad Brown, as we spoke about, unbelievable, shows up at Arlington and does what he does best, which is win, Felix, and he took down, most of those races there. He took down all 4 of the stakes races. You were correct on that. We talked about that, and he did win the Pucker Up, too, the last race. So Chad Brown shows up, and he wins all 4 stakes races at Arlington. So what's that tell you?
Yeah, it was all-turf. Chad Brown, pick 4, 9 through the 12th. Must have a lot of horses, Tommy D.
Oh, yeah, he's getting the best. Chad Brown's getting the best horses out there. And when you win, there's no reason why you don't deserve to get the best horses. So his operation, very successful. And at Saratoga, big time, in New York, that's where he wins. And, he could do it anywhere. But on the turf, he's going to be a big presence out here at the Breeders' Cup. He'll be bringing a lot of horses out here. Chad Brown, very impressive yesterday. Somebody was telling me a couple of days ago that when they have those sales at Ocala or up at Santa Anita or Keeneland, wherever the yearlings or the thoroughbred sales are located, that he walks away with the meat of the matter, sort of the heaviest part of all the purchases, along with Bob Baffert. So a lot of owners buying big horses, giving them to Chad Brown. Why wouldn't you? When you come in to win 4 stakes in a big day in Chicago, Arlington Park, as we said, one of the first big races known to in the United States, Chad Brown just gets winners and winners, and especially on the turf, you got to pay attention to him. You got to pay attention to him on anything. But when you see the horses on the turf, Chad Brown knows how to get it done, and he has the right connections. You see him with the Ortiz brothers, you see him with Castellano, you see him with Johnny V. He just doesn't ride one guy. For example, yesterday, let's just go through it. He won with Johnny V on Sister Charlie, and then he comes back with Valid Point with Castellano, and then he comes back with Ortiz on Bricks and Mortar, and then he has Ortiz Jr. on Cafe Americano. He had 4 jockeys win for him yesterday in all 4 stakes races. Chad Brown, congratulations. If you don't play Chad Brown, you're silly. Yeah, well, Bobby Frankel did the same thing. He was the assistant to the late Bobby Frankel. And Bobby Frankel used to spread the wealth around using 4 or 5 different jockeys to keep them hungry and motivated. And one thing you didn't want to do, you didn't want to get into Bobby Frankel's doghouse, because then if you were off the team, he held court. And he took his time of giving you an opportunity to get back into the barn. Yeah, that's the opportunity that you're looking for, especially as a jock trying to make it. Here in Southern California, New York, wherever you may be, it's a battle. There's a lot of good, talented young jockeys out there. So for you to get into one of these barns and stay true and win, that's all you got to do is stay focused and keep going through. But, yeah, I think it's big deal. Brown spreads the love around, and the jockeys respect that, and they're going to keep riding for him. Let's take a look at Del Mar. What'd you think about what happened yesterday? I think overall the racing was pretty solid. I think had some nice little payouts. Larry Zapp giving us a little tip on that first one yesterday, which was a big tip. Connected on a pick 5 for a couple people that I know. So congratulations, Larry Zapp gave out the winner there in the first, beating Garth. Everyone was all high on Garth, but overall great racing I thought yesterday. A couple. I thought overall it was fair racing. I thought the prices were good, and you couldn't be upset with how Del Mar played yesterday.
No,
beautiful
Del Mar,
day.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. How'd you look at today's card, and what'd you come up with as far as the overall grade?
I thought today's card looked pretty challenging. It's going to be hard to get some winners today, but if you can, I think you're going to be rewarded. I didn't see too many overwhelmingly favorites today on the card, but there's definitely some good racing and some young racing for some young horses that might be very special here in the near future.
Nice job, guys. Nice job analysis. But it's all about breaking maidens, We have some maiden races on this card, and our next guest is breaking his maiden right on our radio show. It's the first time we've ever had him on the radio program, and I've been after him for a long time and reached out to him just moments ago because I want to get him on the radio program. I want to draw some praise to his hard work. He and his son, his whole group of team, they really work hard and they really pay attention. That's trainer Mark Blatt joining us. Mark, top of the morning. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, and good morning to you as well.
I know you said you were in an airport. Are you flying out or flying in?
Actually, I'm getting into Seattle here as we speak because I have a horse in the Long Acres Mile today.
Oh, really? Okay, and who would that be? We didn't talk anything about the Long Acres Mile.
I have a horse called Law Abiding Citizen.
Oh, nice. And what do you feel? How do you feel about him?
Well, I think he stacks up in the race pretty well. He's primarily a turf horse, although he's ran well on the dirt in the past. And we're just here to take a shot. I think he's one of the best horses in the race, and I think it'll kind of come down to whether or not his turf form transfers back over to the dirt.
Yesterday at Del Mar, your 2-year-old, Collusion Illusion, just outstanding, looked tremendous in the paddock. Our men, Larry Zapp and Tommy D, been on this young race colt, and just a terrific job. What were your thoughts going in? What were your thoughts coming out?
Well, we were confident going in. We were very happy with his first race, and we were happy with how he had trained since his first race. And so we were pretty confident going in. We were just hoping for a good trip and some racing luck, and we got that for the most part. Got carried a little wide, but that was okay. Was able to keep him out of trouble, and just extremely pleased with it. And after watching the replay a couple of times, he was pretty impressive, and he was actually pulling away from the field there real late in the race, and appears to have come back out of the race good. So we're looking forward to the future with him.
Yeah, and talk about the future. Is that the Del Mar Futurity?
Well, we won't rule it out at this time, but it would be his third race in a fairly short period of time. It would be his third race at the meet, and that's quite a bit for a young horse. And so I think we'll, see, of course, how he's doing and how he bounces back. Who's going to be, who the competition might be for certain, and then just try and make a decision. But I'm inclined to probably give the horse a bit of time now and come up with a little bit of a different schedule.
Yeah, well, this is day 20, so we have 16 racing days left. This is August the 10th, so we have 3 weeks. He might indicate to you that he wants to run. Would that change your mind?
Yeah, of course. It's all predicated on how the horse is doing, but at the same time, you can be fooled a little bit. You want to, their minds can be a little bit ahead of their bodies physically. They might be telling you mentally they want to run, but physically you have to try and make the determination that they are ready to go. He's a nice horse. He's 2 for 2. We're certainly not going to take any chances with him. by potentially running them back a little too quick.
Mark Blatt is our guest here. If the background sound annoys you, that goes with this gentleman giving up his time. He's in the Seattle airport heading to Long Acres for the Emerald Downs, which is formerly Long Acres, and the Long Acres Mile. And that is a really nice northwest stake race that sits on its own merit. Larry Zapp, to Delmar, to Mark Blatt up there in Seattle, do you have any questions or comments?
Well, my only comment, Mark, is a great job with that colt. I mean, bringing him right back off the maiden win in a short period of time, and for him.
I'm sorry, Larry. I can barely hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can barely hear you.
All right. So, I think the question was that just a short period of time from his maiden to the best pal. I think that's where he was heading. Zapper, what else would you like to? If Mark can't hear you, I'll go ahead and transfer exactly what you want to ask him.
Oh, I just wanted to commend him on such a good job he's been doing this year. It seems like he's good on turf and dirt. And the Long Acres Mile, he's 10-1. So I'm really interested. He's not just sending that horse up there to pick up a check. I mean, we got 1760 yesterday. I think we're going to parlay it into maybe his horse today, because that horse, and he gave that horse a gate work since the last race because he didn't break well last time. So I got a feeling all systems go. Just want to wish him continued success, good luck, and it's a Twirling Candy, which he won with yesterday. So obviously there's something about that sire that has got Mark very excited. He's really an up-and-coming sire.
Well, we have come to know the Twirling Candy and just the progeny of such a great sire. And we were talking about sires the other day, Tommy D, Zapp, and I think myself, and about the new sires. Or Zapp, you and I were talking to the Veratis, and I want to shout out to them as well, Kathleen and Bob Verati, listening to our radio program about the new and upcoming sires. Tommy D for Mark Blatt on a Sunday. Nice to have him on the radio program.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Mark. Question about for me would be Eddie Haskell, one of your top horses here. Very impressive, winning 4 out of its last 5. This horse seems to be improving as it's getting older. Where are you pointing this horse's next direction, Mark?
Well, he's nominated for the stake coming up this weekend, and that's the plan as of now. He's actually probably walking onto the turf course to have himself a workout right about now. And so as long as his work goes well to my crew this morning, since I'm not there, and he comes out good and has a good week, he should be running this weekend.
Yeah, good luck. I love Eddie Haskell. I think you have a great horse there. My other quick question would be coming in a race today that you have a horse coming in, Colosi, you have running today. Could you tell us your chances on this horse or your thoughts on this horse coming into the race?
I'm sorry, which horse did you ask about?
Colosi?
Colosi is a very, very nice horse. He is coming off a little bit of a layoff today. I think he's ready to go. He's a very nervous horse, and he's a horse that's never started at Delmar. And with the crowd and the difference in atmosphere, it'll be important to see how he handles himself early on in the paddock and in post-braid and stuff. And that'll probably dictate, how he ends up running today. But he is going into a good, working strongly and ready to go.
Am I wrong, Mark? This is Felix once again. The same connections that own Collusion Illusion own Colosi?
Close. The Collusion Illusion is owned by a 4-way partnership. So 3 of the 4 partners on Collusion Illusion own Colosi.
Tell me about your team. Tell me about your son. Very impressive. Over the years, I've seen him developed into a fine young man, always respectful, just pay attention, just detailed-oriented, focused like you are. Tell me about your young man.
Well, he's 17. He's going to be a senior in high school, and he loves the game, and is learning as he's gotten a little older here. been able to give him a little bit more responsibility as he's gotten a little older, and he's learned a lot, primarily from my assistant trainer, Teo Gutierrez. They get along real well, and I think Teo at times has more patience than I do with him, but he's a great kid, and he loves the game, and we'll see what he ends up doing with it down the road.
Mark Blatt, you're winning at a 20% clip. I know it's a lot of work that you put in. You're a hands-on trainer, just like you said your son loves the game. You love the game. How hard is it to be a 20% claimer, 20% winning conditioner and trainer during the tough spells that we have seen in the first half of the year, and now coming into a Del Mar where it seems like you're locked and loaded?
Yeah, well, it's never easy to win, and the competition in Southern California is very stiff, and we just partially a little lucky, and like you said, we work hard at it. My entire crew works very hard and very dedicated, to the success of these horses. And we've been on the flip side. When you train horses year-round, you're going to have some ups and downs, and we certainly had, some dry spells along the way, but we're on a good run now, and we're certainly enjoying it.
Absolutely. For those who are listening that don't know who Mark Blatt is, share with us, where did you get your start? Where were you born? Where did you start training? How did you get into the game? And how do you feel about it right now?
Well, my dad trained horses at Long Acres, actually, and I grew up just outside of Seattle. Grew up in a town called Auburn, Washington, which is where Emerald Downs is. So coming up to running the Long Acres Mile is a bit more special than, just coming or shipping to run in another race. It's a race I've ran second in the past, but I haven't won it, so we're going to take our best shot to win the race.
So you learned your trade from your dad. Was your dad a trainer, as you mentioned, or your dad owned horses?
My dad trained horses. I grew up on a 5-acre farm, and he taught me the ropes early on. I did work. He did have me work for a few guys just to learn different things from different people as I grew up and got out of college. And pretty much how I got started, I trained the first year at Emerald Downs, first year it opened, and proceeded to move to the Bay Area, and have been in California since. Spent about three years in the Bay Area, and then moved on to Southern California, where I've been since about the year 2000. It was a summer meet at Del Mar in 2000 is when I officially relocated to Southern California.
When you win the Long Acres Mile today, would that be the sweetest victory that you've ever had as a trainer?
I can't say that that's, it would certainly be special. I mean, you can't really say ahead of time. We'll see, but it certainly would be a special win. We've had some other really special wins, so how it would stack up with some of the others, really can't say until hopefully we experience it.
What has been the most special win for Mark Blatt as a trainer?
I think we got on a heck of a run with Sharp Samurai 2 summers ago when he was a 3-year-old. He came into Del Mar and he won the La Jolla and he won the Del Mar Derby, and then we went up to Santa Anita and won the Twilight Derby. That was a series of wins that was extremely special. He was a horse that I had purchased in Keeneland, and beginning part of his career, he changed ownership. I own a part of the horse, and I think that particular run of winning those 4 races, he had won 4 in a row that summer. It had started in June at Santa Anita, came to Del Mar and won the 2 major races for 3-year-olds on the grass, and then, like I said, the Twilight Derby in the fall at Santa Anita. So that was a pretty special time, particularly for the ownership group. That summer was Rancho Temescal and Red Baron, Jed and Tim Cohen. They had paid a lot of money for the horse, and to have had it work out was just extremely special.
That's great. Those are the great stories that, that we don't ask. We never hear about them. Final question I have for you, Trainer Mark Blatt. Give us your thoughts in regard to the main track, how it's working in the morning and running in the afternoon, and do you have any opinion in regard to the turf course at Del Mar?
Well, the main track, you got two, obviously one's turf, one's dirt, but you seem to have the turf course that's become very, very firm. Horses are running extremely fast over it. It looks like we're doing really well, or extremely well, with injuries. And so it's hard to be negative about it, but it does seem, pretty hard. The main track has gotten a little tighter since the start of the meet. There are days where, you wish there was more water on it. Training on it seems to have been fine. Most of our mornings are overcast, so I think it's retaining the moisture. But in the afternoon when the sun hits it, it becomes a bit deep and cuppy and a little loose, and so it's hard for some horses, not all of them, but some horses to handle it in the afternoon. So just because they handle it in the mornings doesn't necessarily mean they're going to handle it in the afternoon, but you can't argue with success. And to this point, knock on wood, we've had a very safe meet, and we just hope that it continues on that way, and we'll see where we're at the end of the meet.
Well, I think I speak for a lot of folks. We really appreciate the time you've given up. I've wanted to have you on for the longest periods of time. I met you and your son in the paddock. I got your number and said, look, I want to have you on the show. I think it's real fitting today that my brain is working in the right direction by reaching out to you and you being so gracious with your time. You're up in Seattle. You're just getting off a plane. There's some background noise, but I don't care. We can have all the background noise we can handle here just to have you, deliver what you have delivered. Great success throughout the year. This year has been a really good year for you. Greater success today, winning the Long Acres Mile, law-abiding citizen for your family up there in Seattle, nearby, like you mentioned, at Auburn, Washington, Long Acres, Emerald Downs, and we'll see you when you get back here, and thank you very much for your time, Mark Blatt.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
You got it. My pleasure. Mark Blatt, Trainer Mark Blatt. He said exactly what I been wondering, that, with the overcast in the morning, Tommy D, you and I have had some conversations early in the morning. You were coming up. We were going to meet at the track and blah, blah, blah. It's overcast. And then all of a sudden, about 11:30, the sun starts peeking through. And do you indicate, or do you believe that that sun drying out the track, making a drive, horses tire over that track?
I think so. Like he said, it's a little bit deep in the afternoons, and I think it's something to pay attention to. He's out there every single day, Mark Blatt. But yeah, he is claiming that the track is a little bit tighter and the turf course being firm, and we knew that. We know that it's harder than they would like, but, thankfully we haven't had any injuries. But it's extremely fast, the turf course right now, and what I like he said is, even if the horses are working out good in the morning, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to transition to the afternoon. The conditions do change, especially this summer. It hasn't been so hot here in San Diego. Overcast almost every morning, and then the sun pops out. So There's definitely a change in the track conditions there, from the morning to the afternoon.
We're out of here on this Sunday. We'll cue it up. Next Saturday, it'll be the Pacific Classic broadcast of Track Talk. Have yourself a great Sunday out there. Until next time, adios. You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple, and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com, on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
Too much to do? Not enough time to get it done? Call on the experts at Another 8 Hours for your business support needs. By partnering with Another 8 Hours, we allow you to focus on the more important matters, like being in front of your clients, doing what you do best, rather than being stuck at a desk poring over paperwork, rummaging through emails, returning phone calls, and struggling to get everything done by yourself. Meanwhile, your family and social life are going down the drain. Go to another8hours.com or call 8 more hours. That's 866-734-6877.